I really don't understand what the problem is. Why does Apple hate these big displays? They just do not like them for some reason. They even got rid of the 27-inch iMac. Why does Apple hate these big displays? What's this? What? Ross Young, please don't be joking with me right now. My prayers have been answered. Oh, finally. I really don't know why this has taken so long. Finally, the leaks and the rumors are suggesting something that has been missing from Apple's notebook lineup ever since from the beginning. A big screen consumer grade laptop. I really don't understand why this has taken so long. So you know what? Let's just get into it. Okay, so this leak or rumor, whatever you want to call it, has come from Ross Young, who happens to have a very good track record in terms of the display department. He has tried leaking a few other things and unfortunately now doesn't have his 100% perfect score anymore. But whenever it comes to displays, you take this man for his word. He is an expert in this field and he knows what he's talking about. Ross Young has reported Apple is working on a 15-inch M2 laptop, not an M2 Pro or an M2 Max, M2, which likely points towards a 15-inch MacBook Air. The other thing about this leak is evidently it's coming in 2023. I can't tell you how relieved I feel that Apple is finally working on this. They have actually finally decided to make a bigger screen option for the consumers, because for the longest time, the Mac customers who wanted to pay an affordable price but also get a big screen, well, they basically couldn't. If they wanted to buy an affordable laptop, well, their only option was basically the MacBook Air. And if they wanted the big screen, they basically had to cough up another $1,400. Actually, currently now it's $1,500 just for a screen bigger than 14 inches. That is nuts. The fact that Apple has charged this big of a premium just for a bigger display has always driven me so mad, and they've done this with practically every single product category. The iPhone. Finally, Apple is rectifying the situation by the lower end option in terms of the iPhone, like the non-Pro models. They are finally getting a screen size bigger than 6.1 inches, because that has always been restricted to the $1,100 price point that a lot of people just do not want to pay. The iPad is literally the exact same scenario. Now, sure, 12.9 inches. Yeah, that's a huge tablet. But for anybody who wants it, it used to cost $1,000, but now it's $1,100. That's a hefty premium compared to $800. Technically, the 11-inch display size starts at $600, so I guess I should say that. The point is, there's like a $500 premium if you want a display size increase on the iPad. And the iPhone, sure, it's $300, but still, that's a bit of a premium. And Apple is notorious with doing this with their Macs. I mean, I just mentioned the MacBooks. There is literally, currently right now today, a $1,500 premium if you want an actual big screen option. The iMacs, same exact issue. Apple has made you pay an extra $500 for a bigger screen. And honestly, for a bigger screen, you really shouldn't be paying an extra $500. I'd say maybe $200 at best. Wait, that's kind of what they actually did with the new MacBook Pros. If you actually similarly spec a 14 and a 16-inch, the price difference between the two is literally $200. And with all of these products, the Macs especially, because the Macs have the highest price premium overall. Why is it that large? It's because not only are you also getting that bigger screen when you pony up for that computer, but you're also getting a ton of performance to come along with it that that for the most part, a lot of people aren't even going to use. I've already mentioned time and time again, the M1 chip is already powerful enough to handle most of everyday consumers' tasks, like web browsing or pages documents or filing taxes and such. The M1 is more than capable. It's honestly stupid performant for those type of people. But the problem is they've limited that on their laptops, especially their desktops, kind of now too, to be honest, but their laptops especially, to the 13-inch display. What if these consumers want a bigger display for, I don't know, watching movies and stuff? I mean, yeah, people do watch movies on the go on their laptops. I do that, if I'm being honest. Multi-window managing. This is something that evidently not a lot of people think about. Having a bigger display actually allows us to breathe when we have so many windows spread throughout the entire screen. There are just so many benefits and so many reasons why Apple should have made a big display consumer grade option. So now that this rumor has finally suggested that Apple is finally going to take care of this one product category that they have been completely missing for years. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Decades. They've been missing out on this category for decades. Finally, they are actually putting something in to fill this gap. Some people may have questioned the decision about this, and honestly, I am so confused as of why they're against a 15-inch MacBook Air option. Now, that's probably because they've associated the term Air with being thin and light. Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about the iPad Air. Sure, it's thin and light, but the iPad Mini is lighter than the Air. And for quite a while, actually, Apple used to sell a 12-inch MacBook, and even though, yeah, they also sold an 11-inch MacBook Air, I'm pretty sure they got rid of it for the pretty obvious reason of, okay, that thing is just way too small. Why are they selling something with that tiny of a screen? You're pretty much only running one window at a time with that display size. It's way too small. But even when they got rid of the 11-inch MacBook Air, which happened before they redesigned it in 2018, it clearly shows that I don't really think Air is supposed to mean thin and light. It's just another way to differentiate, well, the two laptops, saying, oh, well, this one's more expensive and has more performance, and this one doesn't. Apple's marketing team is honestly one of the weirdest I've ever seen. They've come up with quite a few bad names in the past, if I'm being honest, like M1 Max. That's a terrible name. Honestly, I think there's only one goal that Apple's marketing team pretty much has when it comes to actually marketing their product. Make this different than the other thing. Pretty much all of these names are just to say, hey, this is different than this. Most of the time, they just don't have any meaning. iPhone Pro. What really is a Pro smartphone? Those who use their phone for a lot more tasks or are more like power users or something, they're not using it for any different task than regular people. It's just care about how it does it a lot more. So yeah, iPhone Pro. Pro never made sense in the name of that. iPad Pro. The iPad Pro has never been a professional device. And yet Apple still gives it the Pro branding. The 13-inch MacBook Pro. The most infuriating product that actually has this name. The 13-inch MacBook Pro right now. The one with the M1 chip. Honestly, that does not even deserve the name Pro. It just doesn't. For those of you who say, no, they should not make a 15-inch MacBook Air because the reason why it's called Air is because it's supposed to be portable and light. Honestly, if you take a look at how Apple names these things, honestly, their names really lack in terms of actual meaning. MacBook Pro 13-inch. It's not a real MacBook Pro. It's really just a MacBook Air with 2 extra hours of battery life, a touch bar, and a slightly brighter display. There's nothing really professional about it because, I mean, that thing doesn't even have that much more performance compared to the Air. Versus the 14 and 16-inch. They deserve the name Pro. iPad Pro. We all know it's not a professional device. iPad Air, what even does that mean? Seriously, because it's not the lightest tablet that Apple offers. That crown goes to the iPad Mini. And iPhone Pro. The professional iPhone users only use their iPhones pretty much the same way others do, except a lot more and care a lot more about quality in which it does all of that stuff. Like cameras. Pro phones evidently mean, yeah, it's got better cameras and maybe maybe more battery life. So marketing aside, I don't care what people say whether they should make this or not. Apple, for the longest time, has been missing out on this market. I have asked so many people this question, believe it or not, even Mac users and PC users. Do you think Apple should make more affordable big screen laptop option every single time? The answer is yes. There are so many people that have wanted this that I've talked to in my personal life that even just don't care about the types of computers they use. But when I mention, hey, would you like to have a big screen option at a much more affordable price? The truth is, yeah, a lot of people I talked to have wanted that bigger screen option, but they didn't get it because Apple charges way too much money for the only big screen option they have, with a lot of performance that they don't necessarily need. So finally, they have addressed this market. I can't thank them enough. Well, technically, they haven't done it just yet. They actually have to come out with product, but the second they come out with the product, you bet I am going to go absolutely nuts. I'm going to run circles around my room because finally, Apple is deciding to address the big screen laptop market. It is not just for professional users. It is also meant for casual consumers as well. All right, this video is long enough, so I better just sign off here. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor and interact with the stuff below. My name is Alpha DeWolf, Random Alpha, signing out.